Alright, what is going on, guys? My name is Leon Master. Welcome back to another Overwatch League news video, and today, guys, we have so much stuff to talk about today. Potential leaks with the Dallas Fuel once again at the start of this video. We're going to talk about a lot of releases as well in this video. Not that much fully with signings just yet. We're only a few days into this. We're going to see a lot of signings throughout these next couple of months and even next year as well, with the rumored Overwatch League to probably start in April. So there's going to be a lot of signings, potentially, maybe not, because obviously COVID and money situations in general. But let's go ahead and jump right into these potential leaks from Halo of Thoughts. So the first one I'll talk about today is MCD possibly joining the Dallas Fuel. He hasn't 100% fully said this is going to happen just yet, but he has said this: my current understanding is that the Dallas Fuel are supposedly continuing with the Elamistic story and are expecting to sign support player MCD, another player who played under Rush and Korean Contenders. And on top of this, Sean Collins, who is basically a reporter for Dallas Fuel, he basically kind of works with Dallas Fuel if I'm correct, and he also tweeted this out: I've been informed that the Dallas Fuel signed 2 support players pending league approval. The announcement on those players could arrive as early as tomorrow. We'll have more as I know about it, and when this video is uploaded, that day is today. So we'll probably see some announcements today when this video is uploaded. And my thoughts on this are kind of in the middle. MCD, he had moments, throughout, his contender seasons with Sparkle and Hanbin, and I know he's gone on staying on the Elamistic, and I've not heard the greatest things from MCD. Like, he's not the greatest, but he's also, like, he's good as well. Like, he isn't like the top tier Osprey you're looking for, as I heard. I haven't watched him that much recently. I've heard he's somewhat in the middle. He's not top tier just yet, so it worries me. Obviously, I understand why they're fully doing it. They're trying to make that Elamistic team once again that they can do what they have. Sparkle, Doha, Hanbin, Rush, and Young. Getting MCD could potentially make him good again with these players and also with these coaches, which I fully understand. Maybe there was tryouts or something that they have done already, and MCD has probably done his best he's done in a while in those tryouts. But there's also other options out there, like Fielder, who also worked at the Paris Eternal with Rush and everyone that is on the Dallas Fuel now. And with the other support Sean is talking about, I think it's also most likely going to be Unique. Unique also worked with the previous Elamistic that won the Gauntlet with, Doha, Sparkle, Hanbin, and that one makes sense. I've also have not heard the greatest things of Unique recently as well. He's not actually on Elamistic anymore. He's on his team called Team Diamond, I'm pretty sure. Also heard kind of like the same thing with MCD. He's not insane top tier, but he's still good. That's what I've heard. But honestly, I have this one unrealistic hope, and I'm going to explain why, is Violet. Dallas Fuel, Hasho said he really wants to win this season. He's really 100% on it on all the videos that he's been in so far. And the reason I said Violet is because Shock has not said anything about re-signing Violet just yet. And he is a free agent on the contract status thing. Nothing's been said about him with Shock just yet, so he potentially could go to Dallas Fuel. I don't know. It's just unrealistic hope. I think the 3 options that are out there right now for the 2 is MCD, Unique, Fielder. I think it's most likely going to be MCD and Unique. Obviously, I've said my reasons why. They worked with the Elamistic crew that won the Gauntlet with Doha and everyone on there, and making that synergy come back with Rush and Young in the Overwatch League as well, getting more experience could be good. And in general, when I've seen MCD in rank, he's still kind of like dominating in rank, actually. So maybe MCD could be that next top tier off sport that could come in the Dallas Fuel. I have no clue just yet. He's been kind of up and down in contenders, what I've heard and what I've seen. I have seen some of his play a lot, actually, not recently I would say, but I've been in the mix of it. Unique, kind of same thing as well with MCD. I've been kind of in the mix of Unique. I'd be excited to see what they do with them. I think it's most likely going to happen, because they want to get all those players quick, and they want to build that Elamistic core once again, and maybe add some few additional players on there, because maybe some players may not want to come to the Dallas Fuel that worked with Elamistic, and maybe even the Paris Eternal. But hey, there's hope for Fielder, there's hope for Violet, and maybe another main support out there as well. Now on to this next potential leak from Halo of Thoughts. He puts this out: while sources have not currently confirmed the team, they have confirmed that XE is going to be leaving the Paris Eternal. This one was going to at least happen at some point because of the leak previously that Paris Eternal wants to go full Western roster, maybe even mixed. Same thing goes with Toronto Defiant. So this was going to be a given at some point, and obviously everyone's going to point towards Dallas Fuel. I think that's going to be the case as well. I've said literally the entire reason so far with Elamistic, Doha, Young, Hanbin, and all of that. I think that's just going to happen. XE's probably going to go to the Dallas Fuel. If he doesn't, going to be very shocked, but I think a lot of teams would love to go after XE right now because he's a top hit scan player in the league and could take that anywhere. I love seeing him go to the Dallas Fuel. It would make the most sense, obviously, because of the reasons why. So we'll see where this goes with XE. We'll see when his leaving announcement's going to happen at some point. Also, keep in mind, this could be fake. Who knows? But when it comes to Halo of Thoughts, he normally tweets out the things that's most likely going to 100% happen. Now on to a heartbreaker for me and even Shock fans. SF Shock has tweeted that Rascal is being released from the team, and this could point to many things. Rascal could end up retiring, and I think that's going to be the case. I think Rascal is going to retire. We've heard before the season even started that he actually wanted to retire. He didn't really want to play the game as much. He went through with it. He kept playing this year, and they won once again. back to back with Rascal, and maybe he got the dub he wanted and he got all the experience he wanted to be playing professionally in the Overwatch League, and now he may want to be a streamer and retire. I think that's going to be the case, is him retiring, but if he doesn't, I'm going to be really happy. He's one of my favorite DPS players of all of Overwatch League, even since Season 1 with London, Dallas, and then NRG, and then now Shock. I hope he does stay in the Overwatch League, but with everything that's been kind of said with Rascal and all of that in general, I think he's most likely going to retire. And if he does retire, obviously I will make a video on it, but we'll see where it goes. I'd love to see him go on so many teams, but it only depends on where. Now on to a juicy one from the Shanghai Dragons. The Shanghai Dragons put out a long letter, and I don't even know if you can probably read this on your screen, but I'm going to try, so here it is. They released Dia, Gaguri, Ding, DM, and Luffy, all from the Shanghai Dragons, and they knew, they were great players. They could probably find other places, and also they just want to probably make some more places onto the roster, and we already knew this from the contract status, but obviously, as you guys know, I'm going to say what teams they could potentially go to. It's just for fun, not 100% where they should go to. Obviously, I'm going to talk about the seasons real quick before we go into that. Dia, I always wanted him to see him play in general. I wanted to go to the Chengdu Hunters. That's the team I'm going to talk about. Dia's been a great player, from the Shanghai Dragons from Season 1. He got some moments in Season 2, if I remember. I don't even think he got a moment in Season 3, but he's been dominating in Contenders. I've heard he's been one of the best players in Contenders, actually. Now on to Gaguri, we didn't really see Gaguri play that much. On to Ding, same thing goes there. I still think Ding is a great player. Didn't see him play that much. Diem's a fantastic player. We saw him play occasionally, and still that top hit scan player that we all know and love from Season 2 and also now the Season 3. Luffy, didn't see Luffy play as much, but he's still a great off-sport player that will probably find a lot of teams. Now let's jump into these players that the teams that could potentially go to, and let's start off with Dia, and obviously the two teams I wrote down is the Chengdu Hunters and the Guangzhou Charge. I'm going to talk about the Guangzhou Charge real quick. The reason I'm saying Guangzhou Charge is because Eileen and Dia are teasing something on Twitter. Maybe it could be bait. Who knows, they could be both going to Chengdu Hunters, Eileen and Dia, and this also could go back to the Guangzhou Charge. So it's all in the air. That's why I'm putting it out there. Chengdu Hunters, I've been saying this since Season 2. He's needed to go on the Chengdu Hunters. He would dominate on that roster so much and show how good he is on his hit scan role. Maybe even better than Leave at some points. Maybe even the double hit scan meta. Dia and Leave could be an insane duo when it comes to certain metas. I think he would fit Chengdu Hunters so well, but who knows what's going to happen. Maybe he will go to the Charge. Now when it comes to Gaguri, I couldn't really find a team for her in the Overwatch League, but definitely Contenders somewhere, or maybe she'll retire. I don't know, but I don't know her path right now. I don't know what she wants to do. I haven't read up on her Twitter if she said anything on Twitter just yet, but I think the two options to Contenders are maybe even retirement, but I think it's most likely going to be Contenders. I think she'll do a great job over there and move her way back up. Maybe I can see the Overwatch League. Now on the Ding, I actually wrote two teams for Ding, and one may surprise you. It is the SF Shock and the Washington Justice. And the reason I throw out the Shock is because obviously I know they have Tile right now. I think they want to use Tile this next season, but they no longer have Rascal. I think they want that next top flex DPS potentially to work up and be insanely good. I think Dean could be that player on the SF Shock, playing maybe certain heroes other than Tayo, and maybe they could find a rotation with those two. I think it would be great, and I'd love to see Dean probably on the Shock. Now in the Washington Justice, they have Tuba as the flex DPS. I just think Dean will be better than Tuba by miles on multiple heroes, and also hearing Ding and Decay be a DPS duo also sounds nutty with Mag and Janu on that roster. I think Dean could really fit the Washington Justice with Decay and maybe even Mag as well, and he's just better than Tuba in my opinion from what we've seen from him in Season 2. In moments in Season 3, I think he could be better than Tuba. Now when it comes to DM, I also wrote two teams for DM as well. I've seen a lot of NYXL fans say he should go there, and I also wrote Dallas Fuel as well. So NYXL and Dallas Fuel for DM. Dallas Fuel is kind of a question mark right now. We don't know if it's going to be XC or not. I'm just kind of putting it in there because I think the DM could actually fit Dallas Fuel if they don't get XC, and I could see him really working well with the Element Mystic Core they've gotten. Now in the NYXL, I've just seen a lot of NYXL fans kind of say they want DM, and I think he could be a great replacement for Nene. He comes in, plays all Nene's roles, maybe even better in general with top tier, also the players that he has around him. I think DM could also fit the NYXL really well. There also could be a lot of other teams he could do good in, but honestly it all depends what happens. I definitely think DM will be in the Overwatch League once again, but who knows, maybe he may retire, but I highly doubt it right now. Now we have Luffy. I have 3 teams written down for him. I don't really know if he'll go to these teams, but LA Gladiators, Houston Outlaws, and the Washington Justice. I definitely think out of all of these, it'll probably be the Washington Justice, especially if Dean gets signed to Washington Justice, so he has that synergy. I think Luffy could potentially be better than Aim God from what we've seen in Season 2, and then maybe occasionally in Season 3. Then you have Aim God, who I think could be better this next season for the Washington Justice, but I think Luffy in general is just better on all heroes when it comes compared to Aim God when it comes to the Washington Justice. Houston Outlaws, I think Luffy's just better than Repel and multiple heroes as well. LA Gladiators, they currently don't have an off sport, but I definitely think Luffy would probably take that contract and go play for the LA Gladiators with those players that he has and also the coaching staff that the team could potentially have. I think Luffy could fit the LA Gladiators, but I think out of all the teams, probably the Washington Justice I really see him fitting into, and if that also goes with Ding as well, if Ding does go to the Justice as well. Now to this next one, we have Jihoon. He's actually retiring, and I will have his tweet longer on screen right now, and I'm going to go ahead and read it to you guys. It was a short time for less than a year in London, but I was really happy to meet the great team members, coaches, and it was an honor to compete with many great players in the beginning and in the middle of the season. There were times when I was in pain and had a lot of difficulties, but if I look back, I think I had more good memories, but personally, I think it's a bit disappointing to me. Lastly, I'm going to retire as a professional gamer, and while taking care of my health, thank you so much for always supporting us. I hope you have a good evening, and I'll say hello to you tomorrow's stream. Thank you very much. I don't have that much to comment on personally when it comes to Jihoon. You know, he had his moments playing in the league, and that's really it. He was kind of like a ball specialist. I don't have many things to say about Jihoon. It sucks that he's retiring, but if he wants to take care of his health, absolutely he should do that. And he may have stuff ready in the future, already have plans. Who knows what's going to go next for Jihoon. Hopefully he has a great future. Now to some coaching staff changes. We have the SF Shock actually bringing in some interesting coaches. They have brought in Agape, and they also promoted Casores, you know, from analyst to now assistant coach. I think these are actually some surprising good coaches for the Shock, actually. I'm going to talk about the Agape one real quick. Obviously, he did coach on Spitfire to Season 1 championship. Season 2 and Season 3 was not the best for Agape, I would say. But I think under Krusty's coaching on the SF Shock, I think he can build that back up again and potentially be good for Season 5 if he wants to be a head coach once again. And I think this just fits for SF Shock for him to, you know, come here and build him up, and maybe he'll bring what he brought to Lona Spitfire those 3 seasons to the Shock and be insanely good. Next thing on the Casores has just been a great coach of his entire time being in Overwatch. You know, we saw it in Atlanta Reign, he did good there. We saw it in the World Cup, did really fantastic in the World Cup. He goes to Young and Beautiful, fantastic results. Now he's on the Shock. I think he's going to bring even better results for the Shock coming into that assistant coaching staff, and maybe he'll want to be a head coach in Season 5 as well. So I definitely think Shock's bringing in some great coaches, kind of unexpected actually, but they are actually pretty good coaches coming from the Shock. And with Krusty coaching these guys as well and building them up, I will see what happens with the Shock next season. It's going to be fun to see. Now to the small one, Philadelphia Fusion just re-signed Moby Dick and Christopher to their coaching staff. Nothing much really to say here. I think these were great coaches for the team, and maybe with 9K they can do some stuff even better. I don't know. I don't think 9K is still the coach for Philadelphia Fusion, but if they have trust in them, sure, go for it. These guys were great coaches for the Fusion in general. Anyways, that's going to be it for all the news I have for you guys today. What's your guys' thoughts on Dallas Fuel potentially signing Unique in MCD? We'll probably see it today when this video is uploaded. What's your guys' thoughts on Rascal? Do you think he's going to retire? Do you think he's going to go to a different team? And what team will that be if you're going to say so? And everything in general. Shock changes. Shanghai Dragons releases. What's your guys' thoughts on everything? If you guys want to stay more in tune with Overwatch League news and Overwatch League stuff in general, make sure to subscribe down below. Also, don't forget to join my Discord as well, and don't forget my Twitter and my Twitch, and don't forget to hit that bell, and don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. I'll see you guys on the next one.